What is good, people of the world? This is your host, Isaiah Aneni. This is your favorite sports podcast in the world at the moment, the GameTime Gazette. How glad I am to join you guys on another day. It's been an awesome start to the NHL, and NBA playoffs. I mean, we've gotten some matchups, we've gotten some games, fireworks already in game 1 and 2 of some series. Some series we're seeing a little bit of a domination. We'll get all into it right here on the GameTime Gazette. For those new listeners, you guys don't know, but today is Wild Takes Wednesday. For Wild Takes Wednesday, we do a thing every week where it's a new thing, right? Where I just try and give you my wildest take. It doesn't have to be something that won't happen or this and that. It has to be like a real wild take. It's just something that I don't think that the general public is involved in. So that'll be on later in this episode here today. Also, we got, the fastest 180. Always have that every single episode. Love that addition to the podcast. And yeah, with the fastest 180, we'll get into whatever's diving on in the sports world. And with that, without further ado, let's get going with the fastest 180. And let's just start off with the F1 world. Last week, we were in the China Grand Prix where we seen Lewis Hamilton of the Mercedes-AMG team. Seen Lewis have a great sprint qualifying, as well, right? He ended up in second. He was still in second, I believe, after the sprint. Might have been dropped down a little bit to fourth or something. But then qualifying comes again on Saturday. Seeing that Lewis goes all the way down to 18th position. And seeing why is Toto Wolff comes out and he explains the swing in performance. Although they have found more downforce than the W15's predecessor, it has not translated into lap time, with the team confused as to why. That led to experiments in setup, most notably ahead of qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix, where Lewis Hamilton reveals he went a long way in one direction with George Russell going in the other. For Hamilton down in P18, it was the wrong call. And for all those that remember, George Russell ended up in the top 10 as well. Disappointing. Mercedes just continues to disappoint, and Toto Wolff continues on saying it didn't get much better in the race as he struggled for pace in the opening stint before a mid-race car safety car helped him secure a points finish in 9th with Russell in 6th on the day. And Toto Wolff finishes off with, I think the car is difficult to set up and difficult to drive. And that is why you have these allocation or oscillations in performance. In my opinion, I think where Lewis' car was in the race was certainly far away from the optimum, and it is driving on a knife edge. So what is it? This is where we are. Disappointing words from Toto Wolff. No, Lewis is just trying to get up out of there right now. Gonna talk a little bit of hockey. Seen the Hurricanes against the Islanders last night. It was 3-1 to the Islanders. Islanders were up 3-1 with like 9 minutes left. Hurricanes scored 4 goals with 9 minutes remaining, and that's playoff hockey for you. It was a crazy game, crazy way to end the game. If you bet on the Hurricanes live when they were down 3-1, you are a guy, especially if it was done 9 minutes left in the game. That is some balls to do. They won in regulation as well. That is ballsy. Ballsy team, ballsy win, and they get another ballsy dub. They're up 2-0 in that series there. And with that, it has been the fastest 180. Sometimes I don't hit it on the button. Sometimes I hit it too early. Sometimes I've been hitting it really late these past few weeks since we started it. So I'm happy that, this one's a little closer to it. But yeah, that's been the fastest 180. For this next segment, we're just going to go talk on the NBA playoffs. I know we got the NHL playoffs out there. I know we got the NFL mock, that everyone's saying. I know I said I would do one too, but the thing is, I've seen so many mock drafts come out of this, and honestly, my mocks everybody's mock is kind of a little different where it comes to probably 4 or 5. That's where it gets to. I seen some mocks where, they had the Eagles trading up to 12. I don't know. So it's for me, I'm just gonna stay away from the mocks. More so, I'm just gonna do just talk on a lot of the news that comes on. Obviously, when the draft happens and everything, I'll analyze the draft happening and all of that. Might do a draft spectacular. The Pat McAfee shows has his own draft spectacular. I feel like, as you guys know, just really inspired from that show. Reason I kind of started my podcast show. So might do a draft spectacular. Might be the first live just appearance from me. Let's do it live. Gotta figure out a few things though if I want to be able to do that. So I'm not gonna make any promises, but I just didn't want to do the whole big board because one, there's a lot of picks to go through, and two, there's a lot that can happen that you really gotta be. A lot of these are where you see a mock draft online or something, a lot of them have a lot of that insider information, obviously, and a lot of them are just feeling picks as well, because that's what it gets to. When it gets to that pick, it's what is the GM feeling, what is the owner feeling, what is the team feeling, and we get answers from there. Obviously, as more of the the top end guys start coming off, you start seeing more discrepancies and more differences and more just better, more unpredictability, as you might say. So it's better for me to come back on a Thursday, actually I'll give you guys, if I don't do a draft spectacular on the actual draft on Thursday, I will come back with an episode Thursday night. So that is right after round 1 is finished, and I'll post it up on everywhere you catch your podcast. Yeah, but so with that, we got the NBA playoffs, and what a start to the playoffs it has been. Last night we seen just a phenomenal game, and I'm filming this on Tuesday, so I'm talking about Monday's game. So I'm talking about Knicks and Sixers and that crazy ending. I'm talking about Lakers and Nuggets. Obviously the Magic's Cavs game, everyone's like, put that over there. I'm really but we'll start there though, with the put that over there, because we got to start somewhere, and I guess we'll start with the team that kind of disappointed me the most in the Orlando Magic. Let me tell you, just to preface a few things. So obviously, Orlando is a young team. This is the first time many of these guys have made the playoffs. First time, I don't know if anybody on this team has playoff experience, if I'm going to be completely honest. Maybe Wendell Carter Jr. when he was playing with the Chicago Bulls, but I am not 100% sure, because when Wendell was on the Bulls were kind of trash too. But he did have that one great year with LaVine and DeRozan. I think he did. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on it. But barely any playoff experience coming from the Magic, so obviously you could kind of surmise why they're struggling, right? So one thing for me is I love seeing the plays of the players, right? The shot selections. I was watching that first game, and even though Cleveland's defense was on point, we're talking a Cleveland Cavalier team when they're fully healthy, when they have their Garrett Allen, when they have, Mobley, when they have Strus he's okay defensively, but really good, guard defender, when they have Donovan Mitchell, when they have Okoro, when they have all their guys, healthy, one of the best defensive units in the NBA, top 5, top 6 at most. Best defensive unit in the league, right? Especially in the playoffs. Obviously, this is where the best teams play. But, let me just read off some stats to you. A man like Cole Anthony is 0-11 in this series. 0-11. A man like, we're looking at, I just brought him up, a Wendell Carter Jr., right? He is 2 of 10 in this series. Joe Ingles, right? That playoff experience. We found one guy with playoff experience. He's played a combined 28 minutes in both games, 3 points, 1 of 4. There's just a thing about, I understand Cleveland is defending them really well. The shot selection for Orlando's been horrible. The playmaking for Orlando is non-existent. The kind of the style of play that they kind of breed off of is in the half court, right? They could get some stops and obviously, get on the fast break, but they didn't live off fast break points. They like the fact that the half court points. You got your bench point guard 0 of 7 in the series. It's ridiculous. Obviously, Jalen Suggs went out injured and then he came back during the game. But there's only been 2 players that have been consistent. It's only been 2 games, but there's only been 2 players that have been consistent. And even their consistency is a little iffy to me. You got Paolo Banchero scoring 21 on 20 points in this second game, which isn't bad. It isn't bad. Want him to be a little bit more efficient, especially because it's the playoffs. Same thing goes to Franz Wagner, who's 5 of 17 for 18 points. Same thing. Like, it was same thing in game 1, right? It's all about the preparedness. I mean, the maturity level that they're bringing into this series here. They're facing a Cleveland team that has a bunch of experience with a Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, Georges Niang. All these guys have been to the playoffs before. They're not taking stupid shot opportunities here. They're passing it on to a hot Donovan Mitchell or giving the ball on the blocks with Evan Mobley, getting him going. Jared Allen's getting a lot of touches around the rim. He had 16 and 20 last game. We're seeing them be that Orlando Magic defense being carved up differently in these playoffs than we've seen in the regular season. And it is a thing about the preparedness, maturity. The bright lights got a little bright for them here. We're seeing that in the first 2 games. They are a young team, though, so you expect them to pick it up, maybe win 1 game. I don't want to see them get swept, get in 5. But this is all a learning experience, seeming like, man. Because I said if they do the same things that they did, the same bad habits that they did in game 1 and game 2, they'll get blown out. And at certain points in this game, the Cleveland Cavaliers were up 20. So it's a thing where it's like, the Magic just doing a lot of young player dumb things, right? And then getting caught up in that and not being able to remove yourself from it. Right? Yeah. All right. To the next game, we will go to one game that hurt my heart because I bet the Sixers. I had the Sixers, bro. And man, let me tell you the score with like 27 seconds left. The Sixers are up, 3 points? No, the Sixers were up 6 points or something like that. 3 minutes left or 27 seconds left. Up 5 points. Forgetting it. Up 5 points, 27 seconds left, the Sixers are. Jalen Brunson hits a little bouncer, lucky 3, it goes in. The Sixers get an opportunity outside. Man, the ball is not looking like it's going to get inbounded. And after the game, Nick Nurse said that he did call them timeouts. He called timeouts twice. It did seem like he did call the timeouts twice. If I was Nick Nurse, so I'm running out on the court, bro. I'm saying, hey, timeout, because it's not something. It's too big of a moment there to lose. They had the game won. All you had to do is inbound the ball, because when Brunson hit his shot, there was about 12 seconds left in the game. All you basketball people, you guys know, all you have to do is inbound the ball. There's just not enough time for the Knicks to do what they wanted to do if the Philadelphia 76ers inbounded the ball, hit 2 free throws on the other side, put the game up 4. All right, boom, Knicks have to go score another 3. All they have to do is inbound the ball 2 times, maybe 2 times. Not even something that the Knicks would have gone and hit another 3. They probably do, who cares? But they all you have to do is inbound the ball twice and hit 2 free throws. That's all or 3 free throws. One out of the 2 in the second one. Obviously, you want to hit all 4 free throws, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. There wasn't much left to do for the 76ers to win that game. To go down 2-0 after they had the game won, a hard-fought game, beautiful finish to the end where they defended well, were able to get stops when they needed stops, and Maxey able to get shots up when he needed to get them shots up to score. Man had a near triple-double, all put up to waste. 35, 10, and 9 from Tyrese Maxey. 34, 6, and 10 from Joel Embiid. And the Knicks lost. And the Sixers lost. It's all something that just is, I don't know. You know, Joel Embiid comes out on the game after and says, hey, we're the better team, we're good, this and that. But why are you saying it with your head down? Do you believe that, brother? Like, have you ever seen, oh, we're the better team? And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're saying it with your head down. Like, do you believe it, brother? It is a disheartening way to lose that game, though. If we're all going to be completely honest, you know, that's a hard way to lose a game like that, man. And, you know, you could blame the coach's error because, hey, if I'm Nick Nurse, regardless if he said he called the timeout, this and that, bro, I've seen coaches run onto the court and say, no, I called the timeout. I'm getting that timeout because I called it. I want it right now. He wasn't decisive enough and it hurt them. You could also say it was player error. Bro, Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, one of you guys call a timeout. Somebody on the floor call a timeout when Tyrese at least hit the floor. Tyrese, you ain't gonna call a timeout when you're moving around the floor, moving around like this. You're not gonna call no timeout. You know you don't have possession of the ball, Tyrese. Hey, I still do believe that series does go around 6-7. We'll see how it goes when they head up to Philadelphia. Going to be a very important game 3 and 4. If the Knicks are able to win a game back in Philadelphia, it's going to be a tough one for the Sixers to recover from and be able to win on. But that is something that we will see. We'll just have to see. Won't we? Lakers Nuggets yesterday. Oh my goodness, Lakers Nuggets was a good one. Lakers went up 20 with I was just shocked, surprised, very surprised. You know, went up 20. A few minutes into the third quarter. The Lakers were up 20. Right? You know, I was even watching with my roommate, and it's like, I'm like, bro, the whole time I just want a better number for the Nuggets. Like, I don't think the Lakers are gonna. I just want a better number for the Nuggets here. The highest the number went for the Nuggets that I seen personally was like plus 360, down 20. And then you could see why. Because Vegas knew too. Crazy into the game. You know, this one, for me, it's not the biggest disappointment. It doesn't match up to the Knicks Sixers one. Just because I always expected the Lakers to not, if they don't get swept, they're going to get beat in 5. You know, like, I always expected that. And even when the game was going on and Nuggets were down 20, I expected the Nuggets to come back. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people did, but I definitely did still. Like, for 2 reasons. Let me tell you my 2 reasons now, too. One, I don't trust the Lakers in late game situations, as you can see why. You know, the late game scoring, the fourth quarter buckets are just not there. LeBron James isn't 35 anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm even saying 35. Brody's 40. And you could see it, bro, with the way he goes to the rim. The layups he takes. He's not as athletic anymore, obviously. Like, he can't get around the rim and just contort his body and be able to score every single bucket that he wants, just like he did in his younger years. You know, let's say like 5 years ago, not even 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Let's say 5 years ago. I don't trust the Lakers' defense at the end of games as well. You know, for the Nuggets being able to get on a run, you know, obviously we know Jokic, man, had 10 rebounds in the first quarter or something like that. So it's like, we know Jokic is going to dominate the game in his own ways, you know, but on a point where I'm looking at the others for the Denver Nuggets and they stepped up on a real big, you know, part. The comeback, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and Christian Brown. You know, like Christian Brown coming off the bench, 10 points in 13 minutes was real big there for the Nuggets. I don't think the Lakers had that same type of bench production, which is why you could also see that kind of, I mean, the Lakers had 1 player coming off the bench, or 2, sorry. No, just 1 player coming off the bench. Or no, wait, they had a few players coming off the bench, obviously. I'm not saying they just had 1 player coming off the bench. But The one player off the bench that scored was Taurean Prince. 2 threes, 6 points, 3 rebounds. Compared to the Nuggets, who had Christian Brown, Justin Holiday, he didn't score any points. Peyton Watson, 2 points. 12 points already, double the Lakers' bench points. And this is both teams that don't really play their bench players anyway, so it's not like, oh, it's a big, factor of it all. But it did help to it. In those small minutes that, Jokic needed a rest and Jamal Murray needed a rest. I mean, Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Peyton Watson, all those guys stepped up for the Nuggets in the biggest way possible. Defensively, holding the Lakers to 20 points in both the third and fourth quarter. Also, like it's because the Lakers' inability to kind of close out games, in my opinion, in the fourth quarters and stuff like that, in the second half, right? Their ability to make late game shots, this and that. But it's also because the Nuggets played them really well, defensively as well, right? The switches that Coach Mike Malone just made at halftime, being able to, well, not at halftime, after they went down 20, and being able to get them back into the game, being able to just shorten the game up, perfect coaching, shorten the game up, and being able to just claw them back slowly but surely. And at the end of it all, it ended with a beautiful Jamal Murray game winner. We've seen Pacers and Bucks happen on the weekend. I mean, the Pacers stunk the bet on the first game, surprised me. But Damian Lillard couldn't miss. He could not miss. We got game 3 or 2, sorry. I'm saying game 3. I'm already thinking ahead. I'm thinking Saturday. But we got game 2 tonight. We got Suns and Timberwolves. Talking that talk over there to all the big dogs. KD being his GOAT. This and that, and still, that's why I love that, bro. That's why I respect that on the deepest level, because it's like, bro, talks that talk to his GOAT too. He doesn't care. Like, he's that guy on the floor. You're not on his team. All right, cool. Like, you're gonna hear it from Anthony Edwards, bro, and that's real cool. And it's a thing that I see that KD respected as well. And with that, it has been your host, Isaiah Anene. This has been the GameTime Gazette. I thank you guys so much for joining me again. I thank you guys every day for joining me. You guys are the best. You are awesome. Last but not least, love someone. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Jesus loved us and he didn't have to. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome Wednesday as well. I'll see you guys back on Thursday. Peace.